Hey besties! Just wanted everyone to know that the following episode of Besties and Banter is meant for entertainment purposes only. While we love a good story, some events in this episode have been exaggerated, altered, or entirely changed based on submissions by you lovely folks to keep things fun and engaging. So any references to potential illegal activities are purely fictional, and we cannot be held liable for any such acts. With that in mind, listen, laugh, and enjoy, but don't take it too seriously. Welcome to Besties, where the tea is hot and the laughs are even hotter.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Sean.
We're your favorite duo.
Ready to spill with you, dish with you, and serve up all the laughs.
Let's get into it.
Okay, welcome to this week's episode, besties. We are already having plenty of laughs. I'm so excited. So this week we are super excited for this episode. As we said last week, we have been trying so hard to get this guest. Today we have one of our real full-time childhood besties, Mercedes, not to be confused with the car because she was named after her grandmother. We're going to have a great show today. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to get into it in just a minute here, but first, let's hear from the complaint department. Brittany, what do you have for us this week?
Okay, I have a couple things. First off the bat, yesterday, Jeffrey and I went to the Cheesecake Factory for my birthday.
Yep, yesterday was her birthday. Woo woo!
Yeah, 34. It's hitting hard.
Yeah, bitch. Love it.
So yesterday, I had the same headache that I have today, and I was just like trying to chug water, and we were an hour from home. So obviously, by the time we got there, I was like, cool, we'll sit down, I'll go to the bathroom. I literally walk into the bathroom. There's like 8 stalls, but by default, I go to the biggest one. I don't know. It's just what I do. The door was open. Like it was opened out. I literally approached the door. A girl goes, "Sorry, I didn't think anyone was in here." I'm like, what do you mean? Like it's a public restroom. You left the door wide open.
So
Sorry,
she was in the large stall?
She was like full on straddling it, like not like hovering, and her head's like down. And I'm like,
dead.
okay. I was like, all right, we'll go to the first one. I was like, I didn't even say anything. I had nothing to say. Sorry, I didn't think anyone was in here. It's a full ass bathroom. It's not a 1-stall bathroom. Like, what are you doing?
Oh my God. I don't know if did I tell the story on the pod of when that guy like walked in on me on the bathroom?
Yeah, Sean, that was the funniest story of my life.
Yeah, that was one of those situations. Except I did lock the door, so I don't know how that motherfucker got in, but he got in. So lock the fucking doors, people. I don't care if it's a quick emergency. If you have to poop a little in your pants to get the emergency, just do it.
Yeah, literally. It was bananas.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. Don't do it, folks. Just lock the door so you can avoid any sort of awkward encounters for yourself or for the other person.
Had your kids, had your wives, they're going to the bathroom with the door open.
Exactly. They coming for you. All right. So one of my complaints this week is we talked about this yesterday, just you and I, but there was a huge rainstorm down here and everything ended up closing here for high winds and a lot of rain, which I think is absolutely bananas that things happen that way. I feel like places have closed down or like things have happened for like the most minuscule things down here. It's crazy. But anyway, so I leave work early because of this storm or whatever. Naturally, I get caught in it. And it is torrential downpour. And I absolutely despise driving in the rain at night or in the rain, like let alone in the fucking pouring rain. So I'm turning my lights on, my windshield wipers are all the way up. I put my hazards on. Doesn't this motherfucker go cut me off in this old ass fucking Toyota Tacoma pickup, like a 1995. The thing is so small. None of the rear lights work. So I'm sitting there in the pouring rain doing my due diligence, having my hazards on like an 85-year-old grandma. And this guy cuts me off and is going very, very slow in front of me. None of his lights work. So I can't even fucking see the dude in front of me. So I don't even know like how far in front of me he is, because usually when people have their hazards on or they have their lights on, at least you can like follow their light and see, you know, how far the distance is to maintain. But no, it was literally whatever. He was okay. Wow, I don't know where I'm going with this. I was just pissed. Honestly, I was pissed that he cut me off, first of all, and second of all, that he didn't even fucking put any sort of flashers, lights, nothing on. He was just weaving in and out of people. Sit the fuck down. I hope that, and God forgive me for saying this, but like, I just kept saying to myself, okay, he's gonna be up ahead of me in about 20 minutes on the side of the fucking road with his truck upside down because he's being a fucking dickbag. I just can't with those people.
I know. They're
It's so
freaking,
fucking
it's like
annoying.
they come out at the worst times, like in the rain when they have no lights.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And it's
but
not cool like the time that we drove down the road when we were teenagers without lights on. That was fucking cool, okay? But this situation was not fucking cool. I was pissed.
yeah, there was nobody for miles on that road.
Right.
But on a highway, although I've never, like we talked about yesterday, I've never used like my hazards unless I was like pulled over or like being funny.
Yeah.
And like, but I mean, I guess it makes sense to put your hazards on in the rain. I've just never thought of it.
I know. So survey, I would be so curious to hear from our listeners. Brittany said she has never put her hazards on. When I was
Never.
talking to her at the same time, Jeff also said he has never put his hazards on. So what do you think, folks? Are you a hazards person, or are you just a fuck it, I'm going without no hazards type of person?
Yeah, I think the only time I would use them is if I was like pulled over on the side of the highway and like it was an emergency and I was trying to like flag someone down.
This was an emergency though. I could not see.
Okay.
It's
All
just
right.
like every
Well,
time I feel like I'm gonna shit my pants when I'm driving, I turn my hazards on to let people know it is an emergency. I'm about to shit, so it's an emergency. Y'all need to get out of my way.
I'm dead.
Oh my
That's
God.
hilarious.
All right, what's your other complaint, Brittany?
So my second complaint is, so I last week bought a tanning package, went tanning, was loving life, then caught a rash like no other, and literally have been dealing with that since. And my body's like trying to fight it, and I no longer have insurance until the 10th since I start my new job. And I'm like getting super bad headaches. And I think what I did was, because I looked online, the more I just keep researching, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that and that. So I went tanning, like this was like a couple days in a row. I went tanning, then worked out, then went in the sauna. So I like had put the bronzing lotion on, and then got all hot and bothered working out, and then decided to hop in the sauna and let that sink into my skin. And it said you shouldn't be tanning and sauning because they're both dehydrating.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't drinking any more water than I normally do, which is barely anything anyways. So I think now I'm just like literally trying to like drown myself and catch up and hoping it works. But the headache I had last night, I literally woke up and was like, Jeff, can you please get me ice? And he like had to get me ice at like 5 a.m. And I just like sat there with it on my head and it felt so good, but it was awful. I've never had a migraine like that in my entire life ever.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, there's something that goes, or there's something to say about going in a tanning bed and a sauna separately, not even in the same day, without drinking a bunch of water, keeping yourself hydrated. It's so funny because it reminds me of when I was a kid. I used to go in the hot tub at my parents' house because they had a hot tub, and they would always say, like, make sure you're drinking water when you're in the hot tub. And we'd always be like, oh my God, that's so stupid. But it's so true because there were a couple times where I didn't drink enough water, got out, and I was dehydrated for like literally the rest of the night and had a headache into when I went to sleep because I didn't drink enough water. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The
It's wild.
body is fucking nuts. Body yaddy.
Yeah. Body yada yada yada. Drink your water yada yada.
Oh, I'm dead. Look at you rhyming and shit. Look out, here comes the next Buster Rhymes.
Dude, I'm a little bit Delulu. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Dead. Delulu for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had any other particular complaints this week. I do know last week, to follow up on one of the complaints because I don't have any other specific complaints this week. I did start making or finishing up the shirts for the half marathon. The cricket has been a little bit more manageable, which is great. Thank God for Brittany for suggesting those little tips and tricks, because now I know the certain temperature. They're going on much easier. It is a lot easier to manage. So thank God for that.
Well, it's not me. I saw it online, so wish I could take credit.
Thank you, Brittany, via online, via internet, whatever it is.
Yeah, whoever tested out those temperatures, shouts out.
I know, right? For real. Especially someone who, what do you have to do? You're paid to sit there all day and just like try different temperatures with the different freaking types of iron-ons. Crazy to me. I'm sure people do it though. I'm sure there's someone out there.
Oh, sure. Quality control.
For real. All right. What other complaints do you have, Brittany?
I don't think I have any more complaints. I'm just so happy to be alive, really.
Perfect. 34 and thriving. She's happy to be alive, folks. You heard it here first.
34 and still a whore.
Oh, hey, heard it here first. She's still a
You're
whore.
Welcome. Yeah.
It's like that scene in Bridesmaids when she goes to live with her mom and she's like, oh, I'm sure he greets her at the door, Beaver first. And she's like, Mom, they've been together for 12 years. And she's like, yeah, but she's still a whore. Oh my gosh. Well, that's good. It allows us to get right into it here and start off this next section of the pod, which is getting into all of our fun little childhood memories.
Let's take a deep dive into our past with Miss Mercedes.
Welcome. Welcome, Mercedes. We're going to have lots of fun conversations today. Mercedes, give us a little intro, how long we've been in the friend group together. Give us a little buzz on you.
Well, I've known Brittany for a while. Met you through Brittany, 38 years ago now.
All right, love it.
Seventh for who?
Us, 7th, 8th.
So he was in like second grade.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. Dead. No, I think for us it was like middle school or high school was when we first met. But Brittany and Mercedes definitely already had that relationship before I came into the picture. But yeah, I've been friends with Brittany since like 3rd grade, I think, or 4th grade.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I want to say like.
So we got you beat there, bitch.
Whatever.
Okay, so before we dive into everything, I just want to set the tone because it basically how our relationship started, I feel like, was like just us getting buck wild and like we never were before. And like we started going to parties at someone's house, and that's when things really took off and we were our truest selves. So let's paint the picture. It's 2009. Your friend texts you that their parents left and you just walked into a packed house party, the kind where the AC doesn't exist. So the air is thick with a mix of sweat, cheap cologne, and Mike's Hard Lemonade that was just spilled on the floor.
And animal piss.
And cat piss. Dog piss.
That too. Someone made a playlist blasting through a pair of half blown out speakers. Best I Ever Had by Drake comes on and everyone is absolutely losing it. And in about 5 minutes, someone's going to demand Lollipop because ironically or not, it's a must play. In the kitchen, there's a makeshift bar stocked with Mike's Hard Lemonade, twisted teas, and maybe a few bottles of Smirnoff Ice. The fridge full of warm Natty Light and leftover pizzas from somebody's shift at Northeast Pizza. The pong table is set up in the dining room, and a sweaty dude in a snapback and a deep V-neck is aggressively arguing that he's regaining champ. And next to him, a girl in Abercrombie denim shorts and a Hollister cami and is double fisting twisted tea and a solo cup of jungle juice, hyping up her bestie who is about to take a shot. Outside are people chilling on the porch talking about how wild last weekend was and how somebody's older brother promised to pick up a bottle of UV blue for later. There are guys in cargo shorts and graphic tees and girls in Victoria's Secret pink hoodies, and at least one dude is in a studded belt and etnies still holding on to his scene phase. Somebody's flipping through their iPod Classic to add more music to the queue, probably some T.I., Kid Cudi, or Cobra Starship. But they better hurry because the aux cord war is getting heated. It's peak Facebook album era, so every moment is being aggressively documented on someone's Sony CyberShot digital camera with the flash so bright it blinds everyone for a second.
I'm fucking dead.
Right? Half the pictures will be up by tomorrow, captioned with something like, "Best night ever," or "We run this town," with excessive inside jokes nobody else will understand. It's 2009 and the vibes are immaculate.
I am dead. First of all, that intro, amazing. Second of all, can we take a moment to just pay tribute to a lot of the folks that we used to see at those parties have probably gone absolutely nowhere. Most of them have, which is hilarious. So I love reminiscing sometimes because of the memories, but also just proud of how far the three of us have come compared to some of these other people.
True.
And I just love, like, before, current age now, with any of the listeners who have probably grown up with iPod touches or iPhones. Yeah, she's talking about the old fashioned iPod that had the little circle rim that we had to scroll through our phones. Some of them were not even color, they were black and white originally.
Literally.
Honestly, I feel like we might have listened to some CDs as well at that house. It might not have even been someone's freaking iPod, but I started thinking about the first phone I had, like, during that period of time, and it was like this little flip phone that looked like a razor, but it wasn't a razor. It was like some sort of freaking
Generic.
LG like lookalike. Yeah, some sort of generic. And I just started, like, reminiscing about, God, phones have come such a long way, even in just like 7 to 8 years. It's absolutely crazy.
Right.
Sean, 7 to 8 years. It's been longer than that.
Well, whatever. You know what I mean. Like 10 years, a decade. Well, you said 2000. Oh, yeah, shit. Wow, my math is real bad. So it's been like 15
5 to 6
years, y'all.
years.
Okay. This is what happens, y'all. I say stupid shit. They fucking come for me. So whatever. This is what happens.
Well, no, it does seem like 5 or 6 years ago, but it's been
It's
longer.
been a while.
I know.
15 years, 14 years.
Yeah, it's been
16 years.
I know.
I mean, honestly, in my
math's
head,
not
I'm
terrible.
still 21. Like, that's just the real,
That it is?
whatever, the reality of it. And also, yuck. Can we talk about how I remember we used to go with the one friend that we always had this party with. We used to always, all four of us would go to the liquor store up the road, and she had a fake ID, so she would always buy the alcohol, or like her brother would buy it for us, and we always, without fail, like, went to Mike's Hard or the Twisted Teas. And God, just thinking about that now, like, no wonder why we felt like such shit the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, do you know that she did not have a fake ID? She went in with someone. She went in with a who was like 24 or something,
Right.
and bought the keg and went in with her. So he just assumed she was also 24. So then he never carded her because he bought a keg with her. So she like got a free pass.
So anytime she went in there, he just didn't card her?
Yeah,
Pretty
she
much.
just bought whatever, whenever.
What a fucking bitch. She made it seem like she was like jerry rigging the system.
Well, she kind of did.
Right.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true, but she made it sound like she was way more badass. Add another fucking X on the list. That bitch be gone. For many reasons.
Literally.
So I do want to talk about this one night of the party where I explicitly remember we had already had, so we're at the point where I think it was almost like every single weekend we were going to this house. To preface it, this friend was their mom was selling their house. They were still living there, but their mom was living with their boyfriend. So they were just throwing house parties every single weekend. And when we say it literally smelled like animal piss and shit, like feces, we are not lying. It absolutely smelled horrible. And I will defend myself because it has to do with this story, okay? So this is like maybe the sixth or seventh time that we have gone to this party. Mind you, I'm 17.
Oh, sorry.
These two bitches or I think I was 16 actually.
Yeah, you were 16.
They were 18, so it was not like as bad or as big of a offense as it was for me as 16. So we had gotten away with it so many times that we didn't think anything of it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This one particular night, the party gets busted by the cops. Okay? First of all, don't be this friend, people. The friend who owned the place fucking ran and made it seem.
I ran with her.
Yes,
Okay.
but then she made it seem like she didn't even know about the party,
True.
right? Yeah, she came back and was like, "Oh, I didn't know," like whatever. She played it off like she didn't.
She had so many people calling her phone too, saying like, "If you don't get down here, we're all being arrested
for trespassing."
Yeah.
Trespassing. It was
Okay.
Still like, wait.
No.
The story unfolds.
So this is what happened, right? They're like cops, and everyone's like run. And then I was like, Sean, we're not running. Like I was always told, don't run. Like it'll be fine.
Same.
Not me. I'm black in a small white town. I ran.
So I think you were like in the bedroom. I don't know where I was. I was like trying to get you to come out. I was like, just come out. It'll be fine. Meanwhile, everyone's like, nobody sit on the couch. There's drugs in it. Nobody sit on it. You're going to break pipes and bongs and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, oh my God. And then the cops come up and there's one that stayed in the house. And then a bunch of cops like drove off to make it seem like, oh yeah, they're gone. And do you remember, bleep this out, walks in and he's like, yo guys, they're gone. And there's a cop right in his face. And he's like, we're not gone, buddy. And he's like, oh shit. And then he tried blowing to like pass the whatever sobriety exam and he could not. So they got in trouble. They ended up taking all of our names and you had to go home in the cop car.
When were you guys hiding in the shower? Was that not?
Sean was in a room.
I was in a room, but the reason why I was going to defend myself, I thought I had told you this, the two of you, but maybe I haven't. So
No, you
confession. So as Brittany said, I was waiting in her room. I was just like hiding because I didn't know what was going to go on, whatever. I too was also told like never run from the cops. So I know it was inevitable that they were going to come in. But anyway, I had to pee so fucking bad. And when I was in there, I needed to hide, but I also really needed to fucking go. And the place smelled like shit anyway. There was stains on the carpet, like everything. Okay, so I opened her bedroom window slightly and she didn't have windows that push up. She had the crank windows that crank open to the side. And I was peeing out the window and all of the pee basically came back in, ricocheted, and just went all over the carpet. So here I am, 16, hiding in a room from the cops, pissing on my friend's carpet and not having any idea what to do. And then Brittany calls me and sure enough is like, just come down. It's fine. Like, you're not going to get in trouble, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Sure enough, my bitch ass, whatever, goes out. I end up getting driven home. I had driven my parents' car there because I got my license a while back. So I had to leave their car there. The cops drove me home. It was mortifying. And you should have seen me because, of course, everyone else got to stay. Like, Brittany got to stay. Mercedes got to stay because they were 18, but because I was 16, they were like, no, we absolutely, like, you cannot stay here.
She was still in the woods.
Yeah, I didn't come out for a while.
Well, right. Yeah, that bitch was hiding in the pricker bushes. She did not give a shit. And I just remember driving home in the back of the cop car, bawling my eyes out, just like, I'm in the Blue Gold Key Society. I'm an honor student. Like, this doesn't happen to me. Like, da 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 da. And the cop was, bless him, was so nice and was just like, yep, I get it. Like, every now and then we have fun, you know, whatever, but you have to realize there's repercussions, like all of this shit. So anyway, that's kind of like the story that Brittany and I were referencing in the pod earlier of we ended up having to go to court because we got like a citation it's not like a ticket, but yeah, like a citation.
We had to pay a fine because we were the only ones. Everyone else had to do like probation and everything because we were the only ones that did not have a record. We had to pay like $60.
Yep.
Solid. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got off.
So we had to like go to court in the middle of a fucking blizzard. And I forget this, it must have been what, like my junior year or sophomore? I think it was my sophomore year because it was your senior year, right?
No, I was
No, we
graduated.
were graduated.
Shit. Okay. So I think it was definitely like my junior or senior year because obviously you get the court date. It wasn't until like maybe 4 months later. So it ended up being like in the middle of winter. We had our court date. We end up driving, like my dad drives me in the middle of this fucking blizzard because I'm like, oh, well, it's snowing, can't go, like, sorry. And he's like, no, we're going. Like, I am driving you there. And fun fact, after all that bullshit, we ended up getting off. Like, we just had to spend or whatever, pay a little fine. And that was pretty much it. On the way home, I came out to my dad that day because I was like, well, in the spirit of things going on, like, you know, part of the reason why I've been partying, like, I kind of use it as an excuse, but I was also like, we are in the middle of a blizzard. This man is not going to throw me out his truck if some bad, like, if he disapproves, he can't throw me out in a blizzard. He knows I'm fragile. So I did it. It was fucking great. So yeah, those partying days were crazy, but you know what, y'all? That's what you do in a small town where you have nothing else to do. You go to big ass fires and you drink and you just whatever, do crazy random shit in the woods or at people's houses, or you bark at people, which leads us to a great transition into the next piece. Brittany, you want to talk about that?
So also what you do in a small town is you drive around. Like I remember fishing around like in my little like cup holder for quarters to like go to the Berry gas station and like put $5 in my car to like just drive around, and we would just drive around, get ices, listen to music. And there was this one time that we were driving and we always came up with like stupid ideas like let's do this, and everyone would be like okay, like why?
We used to do the Chinese fire drill in the middle of the road. Like we just switched positions. We did crazy shit.
Young and dumb.
And like, so we used to also like beep. People would be walking on this side of the road. We would beep and then wave at this way at the woods where no one was.
About that.
Yeah, but my dumbass, do you remember the first time we did it and you both looked away and I waved at the people? And you both were like, what the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be looking away. And I was like, oh, like I didn't even get it. I was such a little
Sean was over being friendly. Like, hi.
For real. You bitches are like, no, look away or bark. That's it. Those are your only options.
Yeah, so it's like, it was like probably the sun was just setting. It was getting dark and we're driving and there was this woman with like
grocery bags.
Yeah, grocery bags. She's like holding one up here, but then also her hands are full. And we're driving through and we're going slow. The speed limit's like 20. And all of a sudden, Mercedes just starts barking at her out the window. And her groceries go up.
Flying.
It was so bad. And she's like, ah! And her groceries go everywhere. Don't you know we double back and she does it again. And there they go again.
What an asshole.
Oh my God. I can't.
Sorry about your eggs.
Oh my gosh.
To be young
it was
and stupid again.
Too funny. Yeah, and you know what? Whatever. At least we were barking at people. We weren't doing hardcore drugs. Fuck.
Literally.
Cut us a break.
Barking like a crackhead, not an actual crackhead.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We were just fucking stupid and barking. That's about it. There's nothing else to do but drive around and bark at people.
hate us.
Oh,
I
God.
hate us.
Sometimes even Mercedes would bark and I would meow in the back. Just kidding. We never said that.
He's not kidding, but all right.
I'm dead.
We just did that last week, Sean. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. Oh my goodness. So Mercedes, do you want to talk about the time that you and I were leaving the store and something crazy happened that we're not expecting? I will say that, Brittany.
Definitely
Thank
was
you
not
very
expecting.
much.
Yeah, well, you were all excited because it was your first time participating in such legal activity, shoplifting at such a young age, whatever it is, what it is. Went into Walmart, loaded up my purse, my big, what was it? It wasn't Coach, that big black bag I had, shove it up with
Back
chocolate
when
bars.
Mercedes had a purse.
Wait, that was the time when Mercedes had a purse, right? In my girly days. Was that the time your mom was like, "Oh, you guys are going to Walmart? Can you get me a chocolate bar?" And we're like, "Sure, Lori.
We'll get you 4.
Anything you want."
We would
But
love
these were,
to.
the giant Hershey bars. So Sean,
There's a
wanted
1 for 4 deal.
4 for free deal.
Or a 4
4
for 1
free.
deal. Oh.
So loaded my purse. Sean was all excited. Let's get out of here. We gotta go. So the person we were with, Brittany and another person, had parked in handicap in her Chevy Malibu, or I thought it was an Oldsmobile.
It was a
Yeah,
Chevy
she
Impala.
did have an
It was a
Alero. She did
Chevy
have
Impala.
Chevy
Or
Impala.
Chevy
Right.
Impala.
she
Yeah.
did have an Alero.
I thought it was her
though.
grandmother's car.
But
That's why I
she-
thought
No, it was her grandfather's car.
It was a Chevy Malibu. It was.
No, yes, but you're right. She drove an Oldsmobile Alero.
Yes.
But
Okay.
she was using her grandfather's car at the time, which was the
Gotcha.
Chevy Impala. Details that don't matter, folks,
Well,
but it
I'm
matters
trying
to
to set the
us.
scene in my own head. But we're parked in handicap. It was an old person car. is what I'm
Right.
getting at.
When we
It was
let you out, you were in handicap, so it was an easy in, easy out, no room for anything. We're the getaway car.
an old person looking car. So me and Sean's coming out of Walmart, all excited, hop in the back seat. Brittany and this person is nowhere to be seen, but we are unloading my bag, all giddy, all excited. The Tupperware containers or something. I'm like, wait, not even the car. So we unloaded all that stuff. We shove everything back in. You guys are parked in front of the store. We
were laughing from the back parking lot. You guys had gotten in the wrong car that looked like the car. Meanwhile, we're cackling. And you guys
Okay,
are
first of
freaking
all,
out.
in our defense, it was dark. Okay, it was dark.
Same
Second of
color
all,
car, same spot.
Yes, but yes, as Mercedes said when we went in there was like a tarp or something in the back seat, and we looked at each other and we were like, "This is not
This
right."
ain't it.
And Mercedes just looked in the front and she looks at me and goes, "Yeah, this ain't our car."
I think there's like a handicap placard hanging up and everything. I'm like,
which at first I'm like, "Oh shit!" But then as we were driving away, I'm like, "What stupid idiot leaves their car unlocked?"
Literally.
Like no alarm went off, no nothing.
Goods.
I guess it was early 2000s when fucking people weren't scared of that shit.
You could trust people in Gardner.
Oh my gosh. But yeah,
I didn't
that
think I ever
was
laughed so hard that night.
that was one of the funniest and like in the moment scariest things ever. It was
definitely scary.
freaking hilarious.
Got a little B&E trying to drive away in a car that's not ours.
Yeah, and here we are like, what the fuck? Where are they? And then these two come trolling around the corner and they're fucking bursting out laughing and they're like, you guys are fucking went into the wrong car. You're so stupid. And then Mercedes and I just started barking at them and said, fuck you.
I'm meowing in the back seat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me the fuck out.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I felt so cool. I was like, yeah, I'm with my older friends. We're in Walmart, the place I come every day. They're never gonna know I'm a criminal.
I'm a criminal.
Dead. I did go back and pay the $2.30, mom and dad.
Oh yeah, you said you did that. Right. Grab 3
Yeah, and we also returned Lori's 4 chocolate bars. Oh gosh, we realized after we got out the 4-for-1 deal was not it had expired, so we walked return those other ones. We were good stewards.
$1 short,
Oh my goodness. But again, could be worse. We could be doing much worse things, people.
Right.
So
I was stealing food, not crack once again. So look.
Right, exactly. Die 2020 folks. It ain't crack, it's a chocolate bar.
Right.
Oh gosh. All right,
I
what
never
else is
imagine
there?
now. Jeez.
Oh my god, no.
The thought of it. I can't go to jail.
I know, we've already been through this. Our population is not gonna be good if that happens to us.
No.
So on the track of B&E, breaking and entering, let's take a deep dive into Alcatraz.
Let's do it. Kick us off.
And we have video footage of that, which will not be included.
None of y'all paid for that subscription, so it ain't gonna be in this video.
Literally. So there was this football camp in the town that we lived in, right? And you must have said something about it.
Yeah, so I had brought it up because I had went previously with a different friend who lived in that area, and we just thought it was like an abandoned area.
Which it seemed like it was abandoned.
Yeah, so the history of this place, a quick little history review. It actually belonged to a Patriots player who ran a football camp in the summer there. That he lived there, but it was only like temporarily, like during summers and during the camp and things like that. He kind of just offered the property to people. So no one was there at the time that we were visiting, but it also looked like literally no one was there because we had made many visits to that place and like had not seen a single freaking soul.
So we went at night, which was scary in itself.
But we also felt badass, like one of those like scary movies of like, oh, we're going at night. We're gonna make sure nobody sees us.
Right. It was like giving Blair Witch. Like that's what we thought was happening. Like we were more scared than brave.
Yeah. And it was the middle of winter, so our noses were running. You could see our breath. It was very Blair Witch.
Yes. If you see this.
Yeah, we said goodbye to Lori that night.
Enjoy your chocolate bars.
So we walked down, like there was a gates that we just walked through, right? It must have been open. There must have been like a little gap or something that we like.
Yeah, there was.
Through.
It was literally just a gate, and then it was surrounded by long like cypress trees. So there was no like gate around the physical gate. It was just trees. So we just walked around the gate.
Yeah, and it was like 20-foot gate. Like it was big, had like the initials on it. And it was like the longest driveway, like a half a mile. And it's just like you're going through the woods. And like, I think there was like tennis courts at one point or something. And then we get up to like where the house is. And there's like, the moon was pretty bright. I feel like, I don't think there were a lot of lights. But all of a sudden we like go up to one part like where there was a garage and a spotlight comes on and we're all like
freaked out.
Yeah, we're all like shit, they're home. Yeah.
Well, and keep in mind for the listeners, I've already been to this location, but I went during the day. So I'm thinking I'm so cool. I'm giving them this whole tour. I'm telling them no one's here. No one's going to see us. Like we'll be fine. And then as soon as we go up to the house, the fucking spotlight comes on and we all shit our pants and we start fucking running away.
Literally.
Right. And then we regain confidence and we're like, no, it's just a spotlight, motion censored.
And here we are also like documenting it. So we're running with the camera and we're like
shaking.
Like it literally looks like a legit Blair Witch Project situation, like running down. We have our night vision on our small little camera thinking we're like fucking documenting the next freaking secret ghost series or some shit.
Yeah, and we like the guy had died or something. Like it was like a little bit creepy. And then we like there was like a pool house with like Greek statues and stuff. Like it was like,
and then like a big ass cross up on the hill. But like we did everything we could to be so secretive. Like that night we parked like further down the road. We didn't park like near the driveway. We ended up walking there, so we looked like whatever. It didn't look legit or look like someone was there. Like we acted like we were in the next fucking thriller movie, like fucking Shutter Island.
Ted. Yeah, and then we were able to go into the pool house. The like little, it was like unlocked and there was like flowers, but like fake flowers everywhere. It was weird.
It was very, very weird.
What else do you remember from it?
Well, I remember running. Scared shitless. Far in the back because y'all are skinnier and quicker than me.
Oh my God, no.
It was icy.
It was icy.
Who was it? You or that was in, and you can bleep that out, whatever.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
in the crappy shoes.
She had Air Force Ones on that are 3 sizes too small, and she's like, my feet, they hurt. And I was like, I'll take the hit. And like, my foot is ginormous, and now I have to like put them in these Air Force Ones, and she's wearing my freaking Velcro shoes that look like clown. They're like Converse Velcro, and like, it was just a mess. I never should have switched. My feet still hurt from that.
Wasn't
night.
she complaining too about the shoes?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why I gave in to her. I shouldn't have.
rude.
Yeah.
It happens. So one of the things that I remember is, so recently, I would say probably in the last year, we all watched this video again, that we all created. It was me, Mercedes, and Brittany. I think was it like, did we just like come over? It was just the 3 of us, and no, Kevin and Crystal. So our
were there.
significant
And Jeff
others were
was
also
there, too.
there.
Yeah.
And we had made the plan to come over, hang out for the night, all of us, and then we wanted to watch the video that we made this recording on. So we watched the whole video. We're sitting there, we're cracking up. The video ends, right? And if people are familiar with like the old recorders or VHSs, it was kind of just like pixelated, like just the white and black little flies flying around the screen. And then all of a sudden it cuts to me in my room. And I'm basically going on this full confessional about how much I love Brittany and how much I'm going to miss her when I go to college, and like how much I appreciate the time that I had with her and Mercedes. Like,
it was when we go into the Army, because we were going to go into the Army. You're like, I'm going to miss you when you go to basic training.
Right.
You and Mercedes are going to do so well fighting for this country.
Oh my God, you're right. I forgot about that. Damn.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure out how we can maybe play a clip of that or something, because it was that was too fucking good.
You were pouring your heart out.
You were.
I sure was. I was fucking spilling it for all y'all. You're welcome.
I'm gonna miss you
That's how
guys
much I
so
love.
much.
That's how much I love you.
We love you too.
What'd you say? Like, when I die, play this at my funeral.
This
Yeah,
is my
right?
13th reason.
We just look in your casket and we're like, this one's for you, bitch. And we just show the video and I'm like, God, you guys are going to be so good at basic training. And I'll be like, yeah, she served our country. Pay some respect. Dead. Oh my goodness. What else? Was there anything else we wanted to talk about?
I mean,
You said the lollipop thing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say right now that we used to go for like the icy runs on our drives. We'd like go to Cumbies, get an icy. But I think you had gotten like cream savers and Jolly Ranchers and like hard candies, and
Was that when we made those giant lollipops?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we melted the Jolly Ranchers and made it into a pop.
It was like the size of our head. I have
Holy
pictures.
shit, Brittany, you remember a lot.
You know.
I didn't even remember that until you just brought it up. Yeah, because we were in that tiny little apartment.
No, that was at my house.
Yeah.
It was at your house?
That was like one of the last times at my house.
Crazy. So there you go, folks. We used to hang out. We would, go bark at people and make homemade pops out of Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, in the pie tin, they were so big. We also went sledding at Gardner Golf Course. That was fun. I have a picture.
Yes, that's right. I remember that.
I remember the game jump.
Wow. Memes.
Yeah.
All the good memes.
But wait, so I wanted to ask. Oh yeah.
Go.
What was it like in the woods? Let's recap that when we were busted and I was calling her. I'm like, you need to come back, because I remember you're like, I'm not moving.
I do know at one point I was running. I dropped my phone, so I just dropped in place. But I know it was like 20 feet from me. So my phone starts going off, and here I'm army crawling, which I learned from basic training, to my phone because it's lighting up. It was Lil Wayne Ice Cream Hoodie. It's like, poof, poof, poof. So I'm crawling. I'm like, hello. And I don't know if it was you who called me or what was her name? I was like, Aaron needs to get back here. I was like, I don't even know. I'm over here. Like, you need to get back there. No. Hang up. So they're calling her phone. I think, was he with us or was he calling?
He probably was.
There was like 5 or 6 of us up there. None of us moved. It was cold. I remember seeing, because there was a road when you passed their house, like what, not even a quarter mile. There's a road on the right. You could see the cop spotlight just going up and down that road. They're looking. We were not moving. Like it took maybe 20 minutes for it to finally come down.
Yeah.
Not me. I stayed up there freezing, laying in the bushes, holding my phone.
Yeah, and wasn't there like pricker bushes or poison ivy or something back there?
There had to have been.
I don't remember. I feel like somebody talked about that.
It was probably worth it to not get caught.
Literally. Yeah, no, I just
Maybe
came
we
back,
should have did the
everybody's
same,
gone.
but instead I
You shoulda
just
ran.
pissed in a bedroom.
Dead. Actually, really funny. Trailing off of that, I then later hung out with my two friends that were older from work, and we went out to the bar, and they would get like a pitcher of like margaritas or whatever, and I was underage, so they would just get a pitcher so I could have some too. And she lived like 5 seconds from the bar. We had driven, but because we were so wasted, we were like, let's walk home, because it was like, a couple blocks away. And so actually we got into her car, and same thing happened with the stealing the stuff. We got in, she like puts her stuff down, she looks in the back seat, she's like, I don't have books in my back seat. We were in the wrong car, so we're like, maybe we should walk home. It was pure ice, and she's like falling into like these puddles and like ice, super slippery. My friend Kenzie calls me, she's like, hey, just so you know, the cops are with us, because she was walking home the whole time. We were going to drive her car, my friend Ashley's car home, and she's like, just so you know, the cops are here. We're like, yeah, we're walking back. And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get my second offense. So Ashley's standing on this like mountain of snow, and she's like, Kenzie, is Brittany gonna get her second offense? And we're like walking through the neighbor's yard. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, please, I can't get a second underage drinking charge. It was so bad.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, we used to just like party down those back roads where like there was no houses or anything. It was just like snowmobile trails, and like we would have a huge
we
fire.
saw people doing fucking cocaine on the back of a car tailgate.
Yeah. We were literally like so scared every time, but we were like, we're so cool. We're so happy to be a part of this.
And you know what? That's what's important, is we thought we were cool.
With just drinking, not snorting.
Right.
Things.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, good times.
Old days.
Yeah.
The good old days. And scene.
We hope you enjoyed that little segment with our special guest, Mercedes. That was fun to take a deep dive into those stories. So without further ado, let's dive in to the roast. Sean, what do you have brewing for us this week?
All right, so this week, the roast that I want to discuss is this show that seems to be very popular and everyone seems to be talking about on Apple TV. If you don't have Apple TV, sorry about it, but we're going to talk about it. It's this show called Severance. It is, I am telling you, one of the weirdest shows I have ever seen. Basically, the premise of it is you live two separate lives. When you go into work, you have no idea what you do outside of work. And when you're outside of work, you have no idea what you do in work. So it's like they go up this elevator every day to work, and it basically erases or like shifts their mind into this different like version of themselves at work and then at home.
Like work mode.
To say that I was uncomfortable watching the show is an understatement. Like I've never felt physically uncomfortable watching a show before, and this show has made me physically uncomfortable. Like I don't know what it is about it, but it's the first 3 episodes are so slow and so weird. It's just like, I don't know if it's because I think maybe we can get technology to a place where like that actually really happens, or if it's just the overall vibe of the show, but it is so weird. Like we started it a couple weeks ago and we only made it to episode 3, and then I told Kevin at the end of episode 3, I just said I really need to take a break from watching this. I can't watch this anymore. I'm physically uncomfortable. And he just looks over at me and said, yeah, same. I feel really uncomfortable. And I'm like, all right, so let's not watch this. Let's like watch something else and like whatever, try to get our minds off of things. So last night we decided to like pick it up again just to kind of see if, we could come at it with fresh eyes. And it is starting to get a little more interesting, I will say, but it's still just so uncomfortable. So I guess what I'm trying to say is my roast this week is I don't think it's as good as people are saying that it is. And two, there are a lot of things in the show that are very how do you say, or how do you, like, just off and different. And third, I do not understand, like, this is when I don't understand the minds of the directors of these shows. The crazy thing is that Ben Stiller is a director or a producer and a director, I believe, of
Oh,
the
we got
show.
balloons going.
What the fuck? For those of you not watching us, balloons just came up on the screen. I'm not sure how that happened. But yeah, like, I didn't know Ben Stiller was so dark and mysterious and weird in that kind of way.
Interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. What's your roast, Britt?
Wait, time out. Let's backtrack a little bit. Ben Stiller, I mean, you do remember him from Heavyweights. He was a little bit dark and mysterious in that. So let's not overlook him. Okay,
let's
seen
not
his
overshadow
past.
those days.
Yes.
I'm dead.
Also, I still haven't watched that. I do need to watch that because you had mentioned it before when you felt uncomfy.
Yeah.
So I do need to take a deep dive into that. But I'm glad to know I'm happy to hear that it's turning around. That's great. Kind of. My roast is American Idol's back. The Oscars overran American Idol, so it was like 10 minutes of a clip of American Idol. So I'm excited to watch this coming week.
Really?
Yeah, but Carrie Underwood took Katy Perry's spot. If you didn't know,
you're gonna start tuning in now that Katy Perry left and Carrie Underwood came on.
I mean, we watched before, but I was like, oh, I didn't realize Katy. I thought Luke Bryan was gonna leave before Katy Perry, to be honest. But I'm not mad about it. I'm excited to hop into American Idol. That's like Jeffrey and I's show that we like love to watch together. We laugh together, we cried together.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. Also, we started Suits LA, which I was hoping was going to be like Suits on Netflix. I don't know if you've watched it.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to get into. I don't know if it's harder to get into because we're always doing something when we first put it on, or if like because we can't binge it like we did Suits, because it comes out every week since it's on cable. But I'm excited to see how that ends up.
Was it good so far?
Yeah, it's like okay. I mean, it's like kind of the same thing as the regular Suits. So
this is something too that I think is important to talk about while we're in the middle of roasting. Why are we just continuing to like stop just either repeating the same shows or doing sequels on sequels on sequels that don't make sense anymore? I'm so sick of, like, Suits was so good, the original, just leave it alone. Why are we trying to respin the wheel, do the same thing? Oh, okay, well, it's not the same thing because it's in a different city and maybe there's other things going on, but it's like, come on. It ruins it in a way because it's like, why are we trying to bring this back up? Just let it fizzle out. It was a great show while it was there. If people really wanted to come back, then the OG cast should come back. It shouldn't be this random LA people.
I know. I did love Suits too. Damn it.
God damn it. You're just a doorman. Doorman. So, speaking of roast, I have another one on the topic of the Oscars because there is a lot of craze going around right now that Wicked and Ariana Grande didn't win any sort of Oscar for her performance. She was out, or she was won over by Zoe Saldana for her performance in Amelia Perez. I have not seen Amelia Perez, so I'm not sure, like how good or not good it is, but people are up in arms saying that Ariana Grande deserved it, and, she, whatever, it belongs to her, all of this stuff. Let me tell you, I have really, really grown to love Ariana Grande. I love her in Wicked. But you also have to pay homage to Zoe Saldana. Has been around for a very long time. She's been a successful actress in a lot of different roles. There has to be some sort of account for that in terms of how long she's been around in Hollywood, the things that she's done. Like, there are a lot of different factors that I think people aren't considering. They're just so pissed off that Ariana didn't get it. And believe me, like, I honestly was shocked. I was surprised. But I also think that, she deserves it as well. Everyone who's nominated in that category is all deserving of it. It's just dependent on what the particular factors are. So I get it. I get why people are upset, but don't come for anybody. Like, the results are in, they've happened, it's occurred, like, move on, because they're both really great actresses in hindsight, if you really think about it. And honestly, if you think about it, Zoe Saldana has been in a lot more than Ariana Grande, and her roles have been really, really good. So let's calm down. The world is gonna move on. We's gonna be okay. We's gonna be okay.
Yeah. She was in that Lioness show that I was talking about. That's so good.
Yeah, we need to watch that.
And Crossroads. Shouts out to Britney Spears.
She was in Crossroads?
Yeah.
Who was she?
She was like the third friend, not the pregnant one.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even put two and two together.
Yeah, because we were watching Lioness and I'm like, I know this bitch. And I'm like going through IMDb and I'm like, how do I know this girl? I'm like, I know her. And then I was like scrolling. I went past it and then I was like, no way, Crossroads. I was like, come on.
Wow. Yeah, because I really remembered her from so yeah, I saw her in Mission Impossible when I was younger, and then obviously a lot of her newer roles, she was in Guardians of the Galaxy, like the Marvel series. So I knew her from there. But that's the only other roast I got this week.
Yeah, I don't have any books this week. I literally went to go out to dinner with my friends and I went early to sit in the parking lot to designate time to read my book. And my sister had given me 5 Frida McFadden books to read. And I'm in the parking lot, I start reading. I'm like, huh? I already read it on my phone, didn't even realize. Sat there for an hour and a half. I'm like,
you're like, this sounds a little familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know why Greta sounds familiar, but she sounds like a bitch I've known.
Yeah, her name was Sydney, and I was like, ah. And then I was like, and I won't even ruin it, but it was the boyfriend. And I'm like, of course, the one that I already read, I picked out of the other 5. I'm like, what a ding dong. I probably could have flew through that book too, but hoping to read some more Frida McFadden soon.
Yep, I'm reading some Frida McFadden right now. I'm flying through The Housemaid. It's really good so far.
I have to read the third one. That's the book I should have grabbed.
Yeah, I gotta add the other 2 to my list for sure. All right, well, that concludes this week's episode, besties. Thanks for tuning in with us. Thanks for learning more about our childhood, doing a deep dive with us and Mercedes. We hope you enjoyed it. Maybe we'll have another pod with her coming on as a guest again.
And if you like the pod, share, subscribe, and like on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and Spotify. As always, in Besties We Trust.
Bye.